ABC's David Muir is standing by now in the northern Israeli town of Kiryat Shimona. David.
Diane, good evening to you. The fighting between Israel and Lebanon has now reached a level not seen since this war began. Last night, as we were going on the air here, we were learning of a secret operation some 60 miles north of the Lebanese border. This evening, we're getting our first look at that Israeli operation, and all day today, we witnessed Hezbollah's reaction to it.
Before the sun came up today, Israeli commandos were jumping out of helicopters, making a run for this hospital in Baalbek, Lebanon. The Israeli army says key Hezbollah leaders were operating here, and under the cover of darkness, special forces tore through the building, leaving little unturned and capturing 5 Hezbollah fighters. It is Israel's furthest reach north since this war began, and throughout the day today, Hezbollah answered back, with rockets reaching as far as the West Bank, the furthest south yet. This is what it looked like when the rockets landed.
You can hear them, some cases you can see them, some cases you can feel them.
On a day when Israel's prime minister said his military had significantly weakened Hezbollah, a record number of rockets came across the border from Lebanon, raining over northern Israel, leaving acres and acres of scorched earth. This family had left to go to Tel Aviv?
Yes.
And just in time, a rocket tore through the roof of their home. The children's beds are now covered in concrete and glass. To the north, injured civilians were rushed to the hospital. And an Israeli-American born in Boston was killed while riding his bicycle.
And this evening, Israel's prime minister says this strengthened offensive will not end until there's a peacekeeping force put in place in southern Lebanon. And Diane, there is no indication this evening that that is going to happen anytime soon.
ABC's David Muir experienced firsthand what it is like for an Israeli family caught in the middle. And he reports tonight from the war zone near the Lebanon border.
Good evening, Diane. Huge explosions are being heard tonight in southern Beirut after a war of words today between Israel and Hezbollah. Israel warning residents in southern Beirut to get out. Hezbollah saying hit downtown Beirut and will hit Tel Aviv. All of this as we were interviewing an Israeli family on the border and witnessed what it's like for a family caught in the middle.
As the Israelis pounded southern Lebanon, Hezbollah again answered back. Today, their Katyusha rockets were deadlier than ever. At least 8 Israeli civilians were killed. In Kiryat Shimona, these children played cards, but just a few feet from their bunker. As we were talking to their parents, first came the sirens, then this. At least 3 rockets fell around us in a matter of minutes.
How did you know when we were talking?
Because the sound and whistle.
And you knew immediately?
Immediately. This is not...
That's outgoing.
Outgoing.
Your ear is trained.
Yes.
This is where one of those Katyusha rockets landed, just 2 blocks from the shelter where we were talking with that family. You can see it blew in the entire side of this house. Inside, an elderly couple who told me they've seen a lot of this in their lifetime.
Tonight, the fighting on both sides continues, as does the card game for the children in Kiryat Shimona, only this time inside the bunker. David Muir, ABC News, on the Israeli-Lebanon border.